Welcome to the podcast. I'm just getting you all set up here. If you can hear some noise, it's just me. I'm in the car recording because I made a commitment to record moving forward every Wednesday and Saturday. And the Wednesday editions are all about implementation. So giving you tips that you can implement. And anyway, the reason that you're hearing this today while I'm in the car and without an intro or an outro is because I'm on another holiday. Yes, I'm in Daylesford, and it's been really, really lovely. I spent the morning. What was I doing this morning? Oh, I was writing cards to two of my girlfriends, and I'm really excited to go and post them. I'll post them either tonight if I get a chance, or else tomorrow. And oh yeah, by the way, I went to get stamps. Can you believe a stamp is $1.50? I'm so out of touch. I don't even understand how that happens. But anyway, $1.50 for a stamp, yeah. And where I live in Mount Eliza, we only get the mail delivered twice a week as well. So I don't know what's going on there. But anywho, so we're going on a road trip. You are coming with me as I go to one of my very favourite places to go when I come up here, which is the Castlemaine Mill Market. So in Daylesford, in Hepburn, there's this huge market. It's called the Famous Mill Market, and it is huge, huge, huge. And it's full of, if you like trash and treasure, it's heaven. But one of the reasons I really like it is because I've got a really great cafe there. And I think I mentioned to you before, I'm doing this experiment for myself at the moment where I'm eating whole foods. That came about um, because I spoke to my exercise physiologist last week, and I was saying to him, listen, I want to improve my flexibility and my strength, and also be great if you've got any suggestions on what to do about my weight. And he said, look, I'm not a dietitian, but my advice is don't do any diets or don't take any pills and don't do anything like that. Just eat whole foods, because nearly all the diets, like paleo or the Mediterranean diet, and he mentioned a few others, he said they're nearly all whole foods. So just eat whole foods, Brooklyn. If it came off the land or the water and something else, then eat it. And if it didn't, if it came from a factory, maybe leave it alone, give it a miss, and don't be too strict with yourself on it. Just where you can, make a good choice. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. And so the whole time I've been here, I've been having whole foods, and I'm not even caring about anything. And I have to tell you, it's been so great. My body has never felt better. I've been walking kilometers every single day, and I'm sleeping, because normally Buddy sleeps on the bed with me, and I love Buddy so much that I can barely sleep, because it just fills my heart with so much love to hear him breathe or to hear him snore. Sometimes he likes to go under the doona, which always freaks me out because I think he's going to suffocate, but he never does. He's done it ever since the day I got him. He likes to go under the doona, do a little bit of a U-turn, and then come back up. And he'll sleep either behind my knees, or he'll sleep with his little head next to the pillow. So I move my pillow to one side of the mattress, one side of the bed, so that he's got like the other side, and he'll put his head up on the other side and leave his body under the doona. It's so cute. Then I'm just there, and I'm just aware of him all night long. I'm just like, I love you so much. I love you so much. But it means I don't sleep because I'm too busy being in love with the dog. So he's on a little vacation with Caroline, his babysitter, and she sent me photos of him today at McClelland Art Gallery, and he's walking around the grounds there in the sculpture gardens, having a wow of a time. And she sent me photos of him being patted by all these different, what I could see in the photo was different hands and different colour sleeves, and they're all different photos. And I thought, what a lucky boy, what a lucky boy. And he's wearing his little coat and everything, so he's all rugged up nice and warm. But anyway, yeah, I went to Sovereign Hill today, and it was so much fun because I haven't been to Sovereign Hill Ballarat for the longest time. And I got some whole food Devonshire tea. And it was just really nice. Just had a really nice time. I went into a mine and nearly freaked myself out because you've got to go into the mine shaft. It's like a little, very small mini version, if you like, of a roller coaster, but it's all in pitch black darkness. It kind of reminded me of the Scooby coaster um, at the Gold Coast at Movie World. But anyway, yeah, went down there and it was fascinating. One of the things that I learned was that gold is found in quartz, and I didn't know that. And one of the ways that the miners used to find the gold was they used to look for the striation, and the striation was usually slate. So as soon as they were digging and they found this striation, like this long grey line of slate, they knew to mine the quartz that was there in that area because that's where the gold is. And so they used to bring the quartz right up to the top and then they'd crush it and everything up the top. It's fascinating stuff. Anyway, I did not know that about gold and mining. So, yeah. And now I'm on my way to, well, I just went to Cryle Castle, but turns out you can't go there during the day anymore. During the week, they're only open for the public on weekends. So I'm heading out to the other mill market, which is Castlemaine. And this is where I manifested a book by Wayne Dyer earlier in my trip, all called Wishes Fulfilled. And it has been fascinating because I will get to the point of giving you the tip for your business. Don't worry, I'm just filling you in on my musings from my little trip away. But I was reading this book. I was driving out to the Castlemaine Mill Market and manifested a book. All right, I set the intention. I experienced the feeling of already having the book, and then yeah, I got there, and sure as eggs, just as I was leaving, I found the book, and I didn't manifest the title. I was just manifesting a book that was going to help me manifest more for my life, more experiences, more feeling, more flow, better flow, all of those sorts of things. And yeah, I found the book. It's by Wayne Dyer. It's called Wishes Fulfilled. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I finished the book almost, and it's just been mind blowing because I traveled all over the world and lived all over the world. Because I was a seeker and I wanted to hear about all of the different views on spirituality and manifesting. I spent time with the Sufis, I spent time with the Egyptians, I spent time in Petra, I lived with Muslims, I've lived with so many different people of so many different backgrounds, because even in Scotland I lived with different clans over there because I wanted to understand what everybody's beliefs were about manifesting and about spirituality and why are we here and all of this kind of stuff. So reading this book, Wishes Fulfilled, was interesting because Wayne has bought a lot of what I already knew. He's brought it together, but he's also added in information from texts and books that I haven't read and that I didn't know. And so there have been some fascinating things in there. And I'm not religious. I am Rosicrucian, and I also go to a spiritualist church, but I'm not religious. And I do believe in source and I do believe in the divine and things like that, but I've never really been one for dogma and stuff, right? But anyway, some of the ways that different ideas and concepts are explained in this book just really landed for me and made a lot of sense. And I'm sure I'm probably going to get some of this wrong, but just in a nutshell, I'll tell you what I've taken away in terms of manifesting, because I know many of you, first came into my world through manifesting. When I was like, I wrote a book on manifesting, and I had my manifesting groups, and that's how a lot of us got connected in the first place. And since then, all these years later, it's still a through line for me. It's why my whole business is built on the masculine and the feminine divine energies, as you already know. I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, the thing about the book was it was so interesting because he shared that something about the story of Moses, which I kind of remember, I kind of recall it, but I was also tuning out because, as I said, I'm not really, that stuff doesn't land for me. There was something about Moses and there was a burning bush anyway, and anyway, God said to Moses, hey, you've got to go over to Egypt and you've got to go and get all the, I think it was Israelites, you've got to go and lead them all out of Egypt. And, this is my wish, this is my command, this is what I want you to do. And then Moses says, well, I'm happy to go and do that, but what do I say your name is? Like, what do I call you? Because I'm going to go and tell them that you told me to do it, but who do I say you are? And God replied, I am that I am. And I am is the name by which I will be known for all generations to come. And that blew my mind, because it means now when we say I am, we're referencing, if you go along with this, we're referencing that divine energy within us, that spark of divine energy, that spark of source energy, that spark of God energy, if you like. And I'm not being disrespectful by using the name in vain or anything. That's not my intention. I'm just sharing what I learned, right? So whether you want to call it God or source or, your divine stuff, but it's like there's this little spark inside us. And every time we say I am, we're referencing that. And so I thought that was so interesting in terms of manifesting, because everything was formless before it had form. Even everything you see when you look around, like I just looked down and I can see my mobile phone, right? So even Steve Jobs with the iPhone, that was formless. He had an idea, I want to make this really cool device, and it's going to do all these things that other devices don't do, and it's going to be this big, and it's going to be monochrome, or it's going to be color, and it's going to, do you know what I mean? These were ideas he had, and he percolated on those ideas. He really allowed himself to steep in the idea of, yeah, what if, and he imagined it, and then from that imagining, from thinking about it, he then had feelings about it, right? He was feeling like, oh my gosh, this could be a groundbreaker. Oh my gosh, could you imagine if this actually worked? Oh my gosh. And he would have been feeling so excited, like he was on the cusp of something, and happy and joyful, and like he couldn't wait, like almost bursting maybe to get this idea out. And then he went and told people about it perhaps, or he started sketching it. And as soon as he started doing those things, taking those actions, he was bringing it into the world. And this is what manifestation is. It's bringing something that's formless into a state of form. So taking that idea, making it something real in the world. So sketching it, and then from sketching, maybe having meetings and discussions, and maybe even creating a prototype. And so doing all of that. And now look, I have a mobile phone because he manifested it, right? Everything that you see around you, like I'm driving my my Honda. I love my Honda so much, but my Honda was somebody else's idea. Somebody else had this idea of creating this type of car, and there's something special about my Honda that you can't find in other cars that aren't Hondas. And the person who created this idea was onto something and believed in it so much, and felt that excitement, that anticipation of, wow, I wonder if this is going to be really possible, and brought it into the world, made plans for it, made prototypes, how to go, refined, still getting refined. And, how amazing. And I really love this too, because this is so relevant to private practice, isn't it? I mean, you manifest your private practice while you're studying. You're thinking about, I can't wait until I get my piece of paper, and then I'll be able to have my private practice, and it's going to stand for this, and it's going to be all about helping people with that, and this is what I'm going to do differently, and all of that, and the feeling that you have thinking about it, and that anticipation that, wow, this is going to be so special and I can't wait. And oh, my logo is going to be, so exciting. And then you actually start drawing the logo and you start thinking and fantasizing about the names of your business. And then, you decide on the business and then you go and get the domain and you're manifesting the business, you're manifesting the private practice. This is what I love so much. The other thing about manifesting for your private practice too is always remembering that as people, we are electromagnetic. So your thoughts are electric. We can measure them with EEGs and stuff like that, and our feelings are magnetic. Okay, like, have you ever been in a really, really, really great mood and then gone to meet some girlfriends or something, and you notice that they're all really upset, or and you find out that one of them's just broken up with their partner, right? It's the vibe's different, right? That's magnetic. That low vibe's brought you down. But have you also noticed that the opposite can happen too, where maybe sometimes the vibe is a little bit down, but then somebody comes in and they're just like this breath of fresh air. They're this breath of fresh air, and the whole vibe lifts, right? We all know that person. We all know that person. And, this is what I want you to think about when it comes to the marketing aspect of your private practice. Like, there's so many people that struggle with their marketing, but I think it's because you get in the doing and you get in your head so much about it. But I really believe that your marketing is about that magnetism. It's about you being in the feminine. It's about you being in that feminine energy that is just magnetic. People just want to be around you because of your vibe. They're not buying the outcome. They're not buying the result that you're going to get them. They want to be in your space, right? Those of you who've been in private practice for a while, raise your hand if you've got a client who you don't think actually needs to be there in counseling, but for some reason that person keeps booking sessions. And they're booking the sessions and you're feeling like, oh, I don't know if I'm okay with this because it feels to me like I'm just having a chat. I don't feel like I'm actually doing the work. Well, that's happening because that person is magnetized to you. They want to be in your space. They want to be in your energy. It's your vibe. It's being around you. It's having those conversations with you that is the tonic for them. They love that and they want that. Okay. Even after the trauma has healed, even after the anxiety has dissipated, even after they learn how to manage somatic complaints and somatic symptoms of stress and depression, and they've got better control of their nervous system now and things like that, they continue to come because the rapport is there, right? You've been in your feminine, you've built that rapport. You've been in the feminine, built the relationship. You've been in your feminine, built the trust. You've been in the feminine and you've been radiant. You have shown up. You have nurtured, you have nourished, you have helped this person to flourish and to thrive despite all the things that they were going through. You did that, and you did all of that in your feminine. You didn't have a strategy. You didn't have a 90-day plan for how you're going to build that relationship and help that person heal. You showed up in your feminine energy. Even if you were born a guy and it doesn't matter. Like, we've all got masculine and feminine, but you are in that feminine energy, and that's how you got that client, and it's why that client still wants to be around you today. And that relationship, that energy continues to be the tonic for your client. So just think about that next time you're marketing and you're wondering about, oh, why aren't my posts on social media getting me any clients? Why isn't anybody buying from me when I send out an email and things like that? Have a look objectively at what you're sharing and just ask yourself, was that in my feminine? And how is my feminine coming through? And maybe, for me, I don't really feel that my feminine comes through a lot on my Instagram. I feel, for me personally, I can share a vibe better on my podcast or when I'm actually in a coaching call, and I can show up and I just get to be myself and actually see faces and connect with people and interact and have that dialogue, that's when I feel most magnetic. I don't feel, for me personally, that putting reels on my Instagram is helping potentially you to feel connected to me, because I'm not in my vibe. If I was doing talking head videos and I was doing lives every day where you could see me and stuff like that, and I could show up as myself, that would be a different story. But I don't do that, right? I was very late to Instagram. I like it. It does get me clients, but it's not my happy place. Facebook and my podcast are my happy places. Anyway, I wanted to share this with you about manifesting because, you're doing it all the time, whether you're aware of it or whether you're doing it intentionally or not, you're doing it. And everything that you see in your business today is the direct result of your past thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and actions. You manifested everything that you've got in your practice. So celebrate the things that are going really well, but also, if there are things that you're not as pleased about, like the cash flow perhaps, or the diary looking a little bit sparse or empty, ask yourself, what thoughts or feelings, right? Electromagnetic, what thoughts or feelings was I having that manifested this? And that's going to be your key to opening up more of the doorway for more of the things that you do want to be able to come through. I know, don't you just love it so much? And the other thing that I wanted to share with you too about the formless and the form is there is a lag. And this is really, 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 really challenging. So I think I mentioned it on the last episode, but I'm in a place at the moment myself, like many of you, where I'm needing to put attention now onto increasing my monthly revenue for the business for personal reasons, for family reasons. And you know, this whole idea of manifesting, it sounds great, doesn't it? It sounds like, okay, get the desire. Oh, by the way, if you have a desire, I learned this just this week. If you have a desire, it's not egoic at all. Desire in Latin is de and sire, which means of, and sire is father. So it's of the Father. And if you take that back further, it means of God or of source or of the divine. So everything that you desire, everything that you want through, for, and from your private practice is there because it's destined for you, right? It's there because you are a creator and you can create stuff. You create stuff every single day. You create outcomes, you create posts, you create emails, you create assignments, you create, responses on exams and tests, you create assignments, all the things, right? You are a creatrix and this is just what you do. Creating is your jam, but you just need to get a little bit better at be more intentional with it, because what you focus on you're going to see more of. What you focus on grows. Where energy flows, expansion grows. All of those kinds of things are very true. But what I was going to say was the thought has to come into your mind first. So you have to have that desire. So for me, I'm now like, okay, what do I desire for my monthly revenue, or what do I desire for my weekly revenue? What's my baseline going to be? What do I really, really want? And from that thought, I have to then imagine everything about it. Like, okay, well, what would I be doing differently? If I was receiving that money and I was receiving that level of money consistently and doing that felt really easy for me, what would I be doing in my business? What would I no longer be doing in my business? What would I have released and let go of? And what would I have called in? And I need to be thinking about things like that. And then the second part of that is feeling. So it's electromagnetic. Think it, but also feel it. So where do I feel it in my body when I think that wish has been fulfilled, as Wayne Dyer says? Like, you've got to get into the feeling of that wish being fulfilled. So let's imagine I've hit that financial goal. Let's imagine you've hit your financial goal, if it's a financial goal. Let's imagine you've hit yours. How do you feel in your body? Do you feel excited? Great. Feel it. Allow your body to experience the sensation of the excitement of, having manifested that. For me, it's not so much a feeling of, oh, yeah, I did it. For me, it's more sort of a feeling of, oof, relief, calm. So if I can get that sense of relief and calm in my body, and I can feel that while I'm also imagining what it's going to be like to have that wish fulfilled, then the wish has to come true. That, for lack of a better expression or lack of a better way of saying it, that has to manifest into my reality. But here's the rub. The difficult part is going to be understanding, okay, I really want to start thinking and acting from the space of the person that makes this much money every single month. But my reality is that my money's down here and I've got these debts or these bills or these worries. My reality is telling me the opposite. So how do I reconcile this? Well, the thing is that you have to get really good at observing the thoughts and not catching them. So, about mindfulness, one of the things I learned about mindfulness a long time ago when I was working for Medibank Health Solutions, we used to go and train people that worked at the ATO, among other places, on mindfulness and how they could cope with stress and things like that. And one of the things that we used to teach them was called leaves on a stream. So I'm sure you probably know this, but for those of you who don't, it's just a very small visualization where you imagine that you're sitting on a riverbank, beautiful water, beautiful creek, and there are leaves just floating down on the stream. And you imagine that maybe there's a thought on each leaf, and you're just watching those leaves. You're not dipping your hand in the stream and plucking out a leaf here and there. You're just letting the thoughts go down. Leaf on a stream. That's it. You have to get good at the leaf on the stream business with your mind rather than just allowing, because habit is going to take over and instinct is going to take over. But rather than allowing that to happen, it's much better for you to be devoted, not disciplined, be devoted, be devotional about it. If you say, oh, I'm going to be disciplined, I think you put stress and pressure on yourself. It's very masculine energy to say, I'm going to be disciplined. But if you love yourself and you love your why and you love your purpose and you love your intention and things like that, maybe calling a devotion. I'm devoted to doing this in my business so that I can look after my family, or I'm devoted to this so that I can help more people. I think when it becomes more of a devotional practice, it's easier for us to do, but just me. Anyway, I've just forgotten what I was going to say, but just allow yourself to practice. Be devoted to the idea that you're not going to get caught up plucking leaves out of the stream anymore. You're just going to watch them go by. It does require faith that in time, when the time is right, this will actually become your reality. But for now, you're just going to live in your mind. And you don't have to tell people about it, because there are always going to be people that poo-poo your idea and say, oh, that's great. You think that you're going to have $5,000 week, but meanwhile, you're complaining about paying the gas and electricity bills, right? There's always going to be people that are going to bring you down. So unless you're around people that get it and understand what you're doing and they're manifestors as well, I would just keep this to yourself. And the other thing too is to start manifesting more quickly the things that you want by focusing on the things that you're already receiving, because you are already receiving things. And gratitude is the vibe, right? Gratitude is the vibe. And if you wanted to go even further and deeper and manifest things even more quickly, the easiest way to do that, of course, is to say, I'm a generous person, and start giving. So give it a compliment, or pay for somebody's coffee, or acknowledge somebody for something that they did that is worth acknowledging. Say thank you to people, because giving is the highest form of abundance, right? We give because we know that there's more there. We're not going to be leaving ourselves short. So give, doesn't have to cost you anything. Give a compliment, give thanks, give gratitude. Those kinds of things will certainly help you with this manifestation process. So I know. Now, here's the thing. I have just arrived at Castlemaine Mill Market. So I'm going to wrap up this podcast and also say, I know that I didn't do the business tip, but when I come out of the market, I'll record a second podcast episode for you. And I'll also publish it today, so you're getting two instead of one. And I promise I will stop talking about manifesting in your private practice and how to do that. And I will just stick with the things that you want to know about, the things that you've been putting in questions for. So Alicia has sent two questions, well, actually more than two, but I'm just going to answer two on this one when I drive home. The first question that she had was, how do you know which type of counselling you should be doing? So, kind of, should you be doing CBT? Should you be doing solution focused? Should you be doing narrative? And she had another question as well, which I'll tell you on the podcast. So, yeah, I'll be answering two questions for you. Just give me an hour or so to have a little wander. I didn't set an intention to manifest anything when I got to the Castlemaine Vintage Bazaar because I was talking to you. So who knows what we're going to find in there today. But it'd just be nice to have a little walk around, stretch my legs, enjoy the day. It's still quite cold. It's only 10 degrees here, but the sun is out. When you stand under it, it actually is quite warm. But anyway, I will go now because I want to get here before it closes. It's almost 4 o'clock. It's 3:45 on Wednesday. So I'll go and do that, and then I'll come back and do another episode for you. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.